And we're live, or at least we should be. Yeah, no cam tonight, just 'cause just trying to give myself a break. I just got out of the shower, my hair's still wet. So welcome to another Monday night. I'm starting to really like these things. Just have a nice, comfy Monday night and make fun of other people's relationship problems. I keep battering this around, and I also think I'm gonna sneeze any second. So, so pray for my soul. I keep trying to bat around, trying to figure out what the best way is to kind of approach this stream. I never really know if I want to be a right-wing Lacey Green. Uh, I don't really want to go for, purely conservative standpoints saying, if somebody is having a relationship problem and they're having sex, I don't want the answer to just be, well, stop doing that. I'm taking a look at the comment section. It says, tell us how to get a girlfriend. Oh, I'll try. You have to give me more information before I can tell you how to get a girlfriend there, buddy. So what we're going to be doing tonight is looking at President Trump is now President Trump, and a lot of people are angry. So what we're going to be focusing on tonight are the people who are kind of ass mad and, butthurt about the fact that President Trump is in charge, and that, perhaps they are a Trump supporter or their significant other is a Trump supporter, and they're just not very happy about that. And it looks as if we have some Chris Chan quotes. Searching for a boyfriend, free, cute girl my age who isn't a lesbian. Very true. Yeah, we're starting on 4chan. Sorry. How do I keep a girlfriend? You'll have to ask her about that. Long story short, when it comes to women, it's a man's job to make a woman happy, and it's a woman's job to not be sour, to make herself be able to be made happy by the man. So as long as a woman is, receptive to all the hard work you're doing, and as long as she makes it easy and possible for her to be happy, it's very easy to keep her boyfriend happy. Comment says, getting girls is easy, finding a good one is the challenge. Yeah, I don't know where all these good women are. Well, I'm 29 right now, so if I look around at most of my friends, the ones that I would recommend for relationships are already in relationships. So we're starting out at the worst of the worst, and it's just gonna get even better from here. Gonna start with the worst possible opener, and it is it's an advice board question where somebody's asking, how important are political views in a relationship? I'm a far right guy, and well, most girls are lefties. Well, he's not wrong about that. I would say most women are lefties until they get married, and they start getting a little conservative because, they have kids, they care about the school districts. If they go down to single income, all of a sudden taxes matter, dual income splitting matters. All the boring things that make somebody go conservative only happens to a woman after she's married and after she has a family and after she has a house, So I would say it's hard to tell, especially if you're younger, if a girl is still a quote unquote lefty, because she's still open and ripe to change her opinion to go far right. Maybe not far right. I think that far right is kind of a more masculine thing. In women, I'd say it's more natural for us to be straight up conservative, and it's more natural for men to be much further along on the right. Both can get along. So here's the thing, if you're going to be in a long-term relationship with somebody, it's maybe not necessarily the political views that really matter. Maybe it's not, the exact party that you're voting for that matters, but, values do matter. If one person is voting for a party that is all about free stuff, and another person is voting for a party that's all about, tax and privatize the roads, then there might be a values mix-up there, especially if you two want to eventually own property together. If you both have different ideas about property rights, then that's going to be a clash. Comment section says, if you want to keep your girlfriend happy, you keep her in formaldehyde. Yeah, it's true. This is why women end up voting for socialist, patriarchal governments. Quite funny. Very, It's definitely funny. One other thing, I still need to figure out who to get for this, but I do need to find somebody. First off, I need to find a way to adequately pay somebody who wants to work as my co-host, because I'm a conservative, so I don't like it when people do work for free. Since I do receive a small amount of money whenever I do streams, I need to find somebody who can co-host with me, but I'm gonna wait. My beast of a computer is going to be set up soon. I was hit with a bit of extra worky type stuff over the weekend. There's going to be a big old conservative event in my city in 2 weeks, so I got kind of wrapped up with that. So, or maybe, just let me know what you guys think about this. Maybe I will spend Valentine's Day building my new computer. I think that would be a fun way. I think that'd be a fun way to spend the day, huh? So let me know. I think that putting aside Valentine's Day, it's a Tuesday this year. Let's do Valentine's Day for computer. I can sit there, I can struggle with my computer for, the 8 hours it takes me to put it all together. And you can just keep me on in the background while you play games in the other window. And I think that's a good way to spend Feb 14th. So let me know. Let me know, guys. Somebody asks to be a co-host if they are paid in beer. Somebody else wants for Sussex Gold Ginger Ale. If you do not live in Canada, I don't know if you get this in Western Canada, but Sussex Gold Ginger Ale is from New Brunswick, and it might be one of the better things that has ever been produced in this side of the country, on this side of the country. Comment section asks, should I wear a condom all day long just to be safe? Yes. If you're not wearing one right now, then yeah, you already have AIDS. No. PC for life. Well, Valentine's doesn't necessarily have to mean Singles Day, but I think it would be fun. Fun way to spend Valentine's Day. Plus, it's on a weekday, so even if you are in a relationship, it might be hard to find time to book an overpriced restaurant where you can eat a meal that had been prepared ahead of time. I don't know if you guys ever worked in restaurants, but one thing you should never do is book a restaurant on a really big holiday. This is why it's wrong to go out on New Year's. This is why it's wrong to go out on Valentine's Day, because they know how many tables are going to be full that evening, so they do as much pre-prepared food as possible. So you're getting food that had been prepared hours and hours and hours beforehand. Unserious comment says, I go to bars and play my 3DS to try to attract a girl gamer, but that never works. What am I doing wrong? Well, if you're trying to find people via Street Pass, via the Street Pass method, then unless you were at a gay bar, I think that would work on gay men a lot more than it would work on nerdy women. You can find yourself a nerdy gay man with Street Passes a lot easier than you can find yourself a nerdy straight woman. Maybe once I can figure out a decent payment method, I can just start migrating back and forth on the different co-hosts. I need to find people who are right-wing. Unfortunately, a lot of my favorite female friends are men. So I don't know if that would, as much fun as it would be to have them, I don't know if that would really jive with a, a conservative right-wing love/relationship podcast. Comment section says, you meet good women at church, garbage women at bars/clubs/parties. I'd have to agree. I'd say that the church cutoff is probably around 19 or 20. That's when they stop going with their families, Yes, Lauren Southern is a man. I would appreciate if you would not bring up the fact that she used to be a woman. Lauren Southern's a man. She can't be involved. She's trans now. Deal with it. Church for the win. That's very true. I would definitely recommend going to... One of the main reasons to go to university is to find people to date. That's really why. That's really why you go to universities. If you're a guy, make sure you go to a university that has like a 60% women's population in it. Try to find a university that has a very large nursing program. That's a really good way to find women. You will find many lovelies there. Or you can go to a university that also has some sort of religious aspect to it. Find your religion, see what you want. The nurses are interesting. Nurses are very interesting creatures. Because they're always party girls for the first few years, because they know that they're going to settle down at some point in their lives. They're very, very lovely people. So they party for a few years hard, and then they settle down as quickly as they can, because, hey, they're nurses. Pays well. So what do you guys think? How important are political views in a relationship, and how different do you think this is based on when people are older versus when they're younger? I think probably the best idea is that if you are a very political person, find somebody who generally agrees with you, most of the time. Try to find somebody who is not taken aback by your political views, and then just keep them uninvolved with all of your politics. It's fine to have politics as your hobby. If you have even if you are both right-wing conservatives or, right-wing, whatever else there is out there, if you are both in a relationship and you call yourselves the exact same political thing, you're still going to disagree on a few things here or there. So even that will cause some stress in your marriage, even though you will eventually be voting for the same person. Comment says, if one person prefers a system that wants to provide everything for them and the other wants a system that allows them to provide for themselves, that says a lot about the two people, in my opinion. This is very true. This is where women go wrong. I think, Gavin McGinnis pointed out about some of the women who were marching at that women's march, which I still don't understand. Apparently you just put on a large vagina costume and you walked around pretending as if you didn't have rights. Did I get that right? Is that true? And Gavin McGinnis basically rightly pointed out that all these women, there's a reason that they're quite lonely. I think that he pointed out one of them from Garfunkel and Oates, who had written a song about how her ovaries were drying up and how nobody loved her, was at this women's march. And I think he drew a correct comparison, saying, well, this is probably why you can't find anybody who will commit. You go to lefty events. Comment says, it's fine as long as you or her aren't consumed by politics. In my experience, if one person works in politics, the other probably ought to work in politics as well. If it's more of a hobby thing, then I would say one person has that hobby, and that is their hobby, that they keep away from the other person. Comment section says, a lot of people do meet online these days, but it's probably better to meet someone IRL first. Saves that whole rejection close call upon unmet expectations. I don't really know how the internet dating thing works. It's one thing I have no experience in it. I'm not sure. The only reason that I can keep track of which side you swipe to on Tinder is that I saw this wonderful little photo of somebody whose Tinder profile said, swipe in the direction of your political leanings, and right, of course, is the correct one. Comment section says, I don't know, my parents have been happily married for 31 years with 6 kids and they are political opposites. Yeah, it's true. It can definitely work. Guess depends on how invested they are in it and how many other values they share together. It's definitely possible. I find that as I get older, more people seem to be conservative. It's not quite that, it's not quite that I didn't realize who the conservatives were when I was younger, but the people who were apolitical seem. But when any person that I know comes out as apolitical for a very long time and then comes out as a conservative or any sort of right-wing supporter, then I'm probably paying a lot more attention to that. Yeah, comment section says, there sure were a lot of successful star victims at that march. Now, my wife is becoming conservative over time as she reads how the left is tied to Marxism. That's interesting. Tell us more. Yeah, and they're also complaining about the pay gap, which does not exist. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed this earlier, well, a couple hours ago, sometime this morning, somebody sent me a Tinder profile where somebody had used my photo to try to bait people. And I don't really know how that would work. I think that you would bait somebody and you'd get them to send you money or buy something for them under the guise that you were going to go on a date with them. God knows how it works. Comment section says, if you don't want children, why would you want to have a relationship anyway? It's because they want to have their cake and eat it too. Comment section says, I've lost girlfriends because I don't want any more kids. Wait, do you already have kids? Good grief. Yes, Barney Sanders does say that money does grow on trees. Okay, so, yeah, So the wife who's turning away from leftism because she's seeing how it's close to Marxism, she grew up seeing the GOP being authoritarian, so she leaned left. Also, artists are natural leftists, but our Christian morality is fighting back against that. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen now that the National Endowment for the Arts is going to be completely, destroyed, just have its head cut off. One thing that I think that this will lead to is that artists will all of a sudden have to care about what clients think, not what the art dealers think, not what the art critics are thinking, but what the actual client is thinking. I think this really will end up heralding a return to beautiful art because, I took modern art classes. I know how to appreciate the really fancy things out there, but I still prefer just straight up beautiful art. It's just easier to deal with. When it's modern art, you basically hang it up in your house, just begging somebody to ask you to explain it to them. There's nothing wrong with the kind of art that it does take a lot of understanding to love, but that's just not for everybody. If you have to study for hours and hours to understand why a painting is good or why it's bad, instead of just looking at it and saying, this is pretty, then you have a problem. Yeah, make art great again. I agree. Slightly related, but I've heard that in experiments that use preferred parenting styles reflect preferred governmental styles. Authoritarian versus libertarian. Oh, that'd be interesting. Comment section says, modern art is pretentious crap. I agree. There hasn't been any... I think that art stopped being good when Robert Mapplethorpe, I think he died of AIDS. Yeah, he died of AIDS when it was still popular to die of AIDS back in the 80s, or the AIDSies, as they ought to be known. But Mapplethorpe was an absolutely wonderful photographer, and he did, wonderful studies of, gay men and just random fetish stuff, and also flowers. I think he was one of the last really great artists. Somebody asking, have you only dated conservative men? No, not only conservative men. Very few of them have agreed with me politically. But come on, this isn't about me. I don't want this to turn into, hey, ask Margaret about what's going on in her life. That's just awful. Plus, you should never trust a woman who's out there talking about any of the past relationships that she's had, because she will always give you the one-sided story. So let's see what advice is saying. See if advice is full of idiots, which it probably is. Top comment, what is important is respect if there is two different political views in a relationship. See, this is why polyamory doesn't work. Then you have three different political views in a relationship, and they are all crazy. Is it okay to hate? The comment section asks, is it okay to hate libertarians for being fence sitters? Pick a damn side. The libertarians would like to privatize that fence, if you do not mind. Comment section says, I'd ask you out, but I probably messed up my chances because of my comments about kids. Yeah, unfortunately, not that many people are willing to date somebody who already has kids. Comment section says, has anyone seriously asked, who did you vote for on a date? No, that usually doesn't come up. Comment section says, love advice on 4chan. Wow, I shudder to think. I agree. Let's see what else is here. And three things down, people are always talking about neo-Nazis. LOL. Don't talk politics, says this one commenter. When a topic comes up, keep your far-right opinions inside. Only let them out when you are married. That's what I did. Bet my wife never imagined her getting married to a far-right neo-Nazi. Joke's on her. Well, I agree. I would agree that it's proper to keep your power level, out of work environments, but I'm not sure if I would keep it out of a relationship. Start easy. Talk about, race and IQ first. Okay, what else is advice saying? A good relationship material girl respects your opinions and is most likely only soft-leaning. You can mostly ignore what her political views are and lead the relationship in the important things. Don't make relationships with rabid feminists and other fanatics. That's probably a pretty good idea. Yes, subtly. The comment section agrees. Subtly red-pilled a woman. And this one poor girl here in the comments says that her boyfriend is a communist and that anything can set him off into a tantrum at any moment. Well, that is definitely your fault for dating a communist. Well, there's something else that I want to bring up here. It is from our friend, the homosexual Dan Savage. Get this right up. And it is the Savage love letter of the day. This is from January 4th, 2017. Perfect. I'll just read the, Dan Savage just has this really, really long-winded bleh thing down at the bottom here where he bitches and moans about Donald Trump, but I'll just read to you the letter that was sent into Dan Savage right here. I used to read Dan Savage back when I was in high school. Because like the free weekly newspaper that we had, that was the only thing of mild interest. But now that I'm older, I realize that he's just basically a child. And if I was watching this when I was 14, listening to him when I was 14, it's because that's pretty much what his audience should be. Just loser 14-year-olds. So this is what these two guys are writing into Savage. I'll see if I can't skip over any of it. My partner and I are getting married on February 26th. We are both male. Boo. We've been living together since May and together as a couple just over 2 years. After the November election, we made the decision to move up the wedding we'd been talking about, but we were planning on having perhaps... Oh my god, this guy writes too much. Oh my goodness, yes, so something about the Affordable Care Act. Something about Trump's Supreme Court. Oh my goodness, they actually believe Trump is going to take away gay marriage. Trump does not care. Oh, your gay marriage is going to be fine. Nobody cares. Now to my question, this guy says. My partner has a number of relatives who are vocal supporters of Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Gotta be careful of the clamps if you have them around. I had said as soon as we began planning our wedding that I would not have people who worked hard to put my right to marry under threat. Now, after speaking to his mother, my fiancé is asking me to invite at least 2 couples whom I would rather not have there. He says their support of Trump had nothing to do with our rights and was based on other factors. I don't care. It's not like Pence's positions on LGBT issues were a secret. I continue to say I don't want people there who make decisions in the election that threaten my rights and freedom. So he asks, should I grit my teeth and invite them, or should I dig my heels in and tell them to F off? The invitations need to go out in the next week or 2. Please help. Oh my goodness. They really, I don't want to turn this into a just gay rights sort of, thing here, but I noticed Gateway Pundit published an article that it was an interview with Donald Trump from the year 2000, and it was basically Donald Trump saying, no, like, gay people are people too. I don't want to take away their rights. Like, if gay marriage is a thing, then gay marriage is a... Well, I don't think he talked about gay marriage because this was in the year 2000, but he had a very, dare I say it, progressive view of gay rights and the importance of, keeping gays in a possible presidential administration. That was in 2000. I'm sure that some of you people who might be tuning into this were not even around in the year 2000, but it was really not... It was kind of a big deal to come out as a public name who was for gay rights, who was not trying to make a big deal out of, having gays work for you. Yeah, Trump really was very progressive in the year 2000. Comment section asks, wasn't Hillary anti-gay marriage in the year 2000? Just about everyone was anti-gay marriage in the year 2000. Obama was anti-gay marriage when he was first elected as president. It took Hillary until, a couple of years ago? Maybe, I guess it would be about 4 years. Was it 4 years ago that Hillary decided that she was anti-gay? Oh, no, that would have been 8 years ago that Hillary was anti-gay marriage. Yeah, Hillary was anti-gay until she met Huma. Yeah, nobody, well, Peter Thiel is now probably one of the highest ranking, gay men that has ever, been in a presidential administration. It's because nobody cares. They know that he's a really good business guy, and they know that he was really the person who was responsible for Hulk Hogan and Gawker. So we all love him. Nobody cares that he's gay. That's the wonderful thing about gay people. You just don't... They can just be lovely people. It's so odd. Gay rights. I also... One of the reasons I get so miffed and annoyed whenever people start throwing at me in my face that, oh, because you love Trump, you must hate gay people. I've been going to gay bars for the last 10 years. I've been going to drag shows for many, many years. I've tipped a lot more drag queens than you guys. I've spent a lot more time tipping 25% at gay bars than a lot of other people. So I do get really tired when people say that if you're a right-wing or if you're a Trump supporter, you obviously hate gays. No, not at all, not at all. We're just really tired of the fact that, you know, the left have completely ran off with this gay issue and they're just using them as puppets. Well, nobody really cares about gay rights anymore, and Black Lives Matter, nobody cares about that up until a few days ago. Now everything is just about women. Now everything's about Madonna. Transgender people need to make another massive media push because, you know, gay isn't cool anymore and black isn't cool anymore, and I haven't heard much from the transgender lobbies lately. Comment section asks, did the belly dancing take you to the gay bars? No, I just preferred the music selection. Better music. I live in kind of a small town, so you're either going to the place that is where you're basically cutting your feet on glass on the dance floor, or you're going to the place that has the the band playing the same Tom Petty covers over and over and over again, or you get to go to the gay bars. There were always a few different gay bars in the city. There were the gay bars that the straight people could go to, and the gay bars that straight people did not go to. Somebody asked, what kind of music do you like when you go out? I'm not sure. I just realized the other day I can't think of a single new song that came in 2016. Well, if it wasn't for the needle drop, I would have no idea that music was even still being released. That's the only thing that I ever seem to try to keep up with in terms of new music. Good old Anthony. Comment section asks, Margaret, I secretly make hentai as a hobby. Will that harm our relationship if she finds out? It'll harm your relationship if she finds out in 2 years' time, but by then hopefully she'll just be able to laugh. You know, if it really depends on what mark you're at in the relationship. If you've been going it for 3 months and she still doesn't know that you draw hentai either on your tablet or anywhere else, you know. It also won't harm your relationship if she finds out that you're doing it for money. So if I were you, I would throw up a Patreon page as soon as possible and start getting money for the sweet, sweet, terrifying Japanese drawings that you're doing. Comment section says, no guy ever hits on me a lot, but a lot of women hit on my wife. Oh, you should punch them in the face. I think it's okay to punch women in the face right now. Gonna shuffle around here. Too many tabs open everywhere. Too many tabs. Where did OBS go? Oh, here we are. I need like 4 monitors. I need a much more ridiculous setup here. Yeah, comment section says it's only okay to punch somebody if Richard Spencer is hitting on your wife. You know, it's really interesting. Like, I only have so much time in a day to care about things, and over the last few days, several people were punched in the face. One of them was a Canadian female reporter named Sheila Gunn Reid, who works for The Rebel, and she got punched in the face. And then Richard Spencer also got punched in the face. So since I'm Canadian, and since I need to start turning my eye of Sauron onto Canadian politics instead of American politics, I really can only care about one person getting punched in the face a week, and I'm choosing to care about the Canadian woman. But people keep asking me what my opinion is on Richard Spencer getting punched in the face. It's obviously wrong to punch somebody in the face. I don't know what other virtue signaling you're asking me to give. Yep, Lauren was also shoved by a person of color. Yeah, Savage just goes in this gigantic argument, something about lesbians, something about gay weddings. Yeah, gay weddings are going to continue to be politicized. I don't think so. I really don't think so. And then at the very bottom, something about trans people being vulnerable. Good grief, they love complaining. So, I have I have a few different fantastic, awful things from Reddit that I want to read. First of all, this is just... I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I thought that you guys would appreciate the amazing, amazing... just messing around here. I really do need more monitors. This is what I need in my life. I'm not going to read this whole thing because this person talks way too much, but I thought that you would appreciate the wording here. I, 24 female, offended my family because I called them white trash for saying racist, homophobic things and going to a Trump rally. First sentence here says, I'm 24 female, straight, Asian, and adopted into a white family. And then she gives us... Women talk too much. This is the problem. Women talk way too much. Oh, and she's claiming that her parents are narcissists. You know, way too many people claim that their parents are narcissists. But really, if you take a look at all the trash that this woman is writing, it just goes on and on and on. She's the one who needs therapy. Her teal deer at the end says, I told my mom that I found my family white trash and shitty human beings for saying racist things, calling Caitlyn Jenner a word that will get my AdSense taken off, and going to a Trump rally. Mom says she agreed with me, but did a 180 and said I'm being hateful and hurtful to my family, and also sent my sisters my texts. They are offended at me and think I'm being too sensitive. OP is so done with family but feels torn and doesn't know what to do. So this woman is just so very offended at the fact that her parents adopted her, an Asian child, into a white family, but her parents are too racist for her. She's trying to claim that her parents are racist. This is absolutely pathetic. Yeah, what an absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, everyone is always saying that their families are racist trailer trash. And people saying, oh, you should join the hundreds of thousands of people who no longer associate with family, or just go minimal contact. Yeah, we're not sticking long on with that. So this woman just talks too much. But I will talk about this, which is just another classic case of women talk too much. I'm not going to read all of this, but the title made me laugh, so I thought that I'd bring it up to you guys. Yeah, I think that woman who was adopted into a white family, she just needs her own therapy. She's trying to blame all of her problems on our family. She's saying, well, you know, my parents are narcissists, therefore I am correct to react like this. My parents are racist, therefore I am correct to send angry texts to all of them. You know, she's lashing out at them, except she's lashing out at the age of 24. So I'm guessing that she still takes quite a bit of money from her family. There's no reason to lash out at your parents at the age of 24 unless you still rely on them for, you know, most of your bills to be taken care of. You know, like a 17 or 18-year-old might lash out at their parents, but a 24-year-old lashing out at their parents and calling them narcissists just relies on them way too much. She needs to get a few more hours at work. And move out. That's my assumption. That's what I'm going to go with. Move out. So I'm not going to read this whole thing because this woman writes too much. And she's really just looking for pity. At the end of this, she's just posting this entire thing, looking for pity. She uses all... Yeah, everyone in the comment section is talking about the based librarian. That guy's awesome. That guy was great. He was completely right. I've yelled at people in libraries before. I don't care. Libraries can be incredibly stressful atmospheres, and if somebody's out there yelling, laughing, being way too loud, just go scream at them. It'll make you feel good. So the comment of this from about 7 months ago, me, 19, him, 23, dated for 3 months. I dumped him for being very red-pilled and demanding. He can't let go of me, and I'm sick of his attempts to win me over. This 23-year-old, I kind of browsed through this earlier. He sounds as if somebody... he sounds like he wishes that he had some sort of mental disorder that he could blame this all on, but he's just far too unhinged. This is why nobody should read pickup artists online, because then you turn into this guy, and then they end up dating somebody who looks for attention on the internet. She puts her teal deer at the top. I dated a guy for only 3 months upon arriving to a new country. He slowly showed me his character and was also heavily influenced by the red pill. Did a whole bunch of things that were not acceptable in a relationship, and I ended it. He won't let go of me, but he's not harassing me that much either, and combining with his character traits make me unsure if taking a step like a restraining order would be a smart idea. He didn't attack me physically, so I can't get it. What can I do? Is this even worth worrying over? Yeah, I noticed that her first way of dealing with this is, not to move to a different place and not to tell her family what's happening or move back to her old country. It's, well, I should just get the government to intervene and get a restraining order. Let's see. So this is pretty funny. You'll enjoy some of these details here that's got her kind of cut up. And I can understand why she would be upset. She's 19. She's not used to people talking to her like this, and it really just does sound like trash taken out of a pickup artist manual. I was thinking about this earlier. I noticed that a lot of the people who are originally pickup artists online, the guys who are really all about pickup artistry in like the years 2000 to 2005, they kind of switched. They kind of went conservative for a few years, and now they're all populating this time they're all on the alt-right, which is slightly hilarious. All the guys who are the original pickup artists in the early part of this century are now all calling themselves alt-right. They pretty much keep decamping. They're seeing what'll work for them, as opposed to somebody like Richard Spencer who invented the term alt-right. There's just a whole bunch of these ex-pickup artists who are trying to jump right onto the scene. So let's see about what she details here about this 23-year-old boyfriend of hers, ex-boyfriend. He called me a heartless, assuming there is a heart, narcissistic bitch, for not picking up on his drunken calls at 3 a.m. after a fight. Good for you, lady. Do not pick up that call. He called me damaged goods because I had one abusive boyfriend 2 years ago. Okay, so you told him that you had an abusive boyfriend and you're trying to get over it, and now he's trying to pull one over on you by calling you damaged goods. This is just classic pickup artist bullshit. This isn't red pilling. This is pickup artist trash. He tried to force me on hormonal birth control by using arguments like, oh, you don't want it because if you get pregnant, you are in control. Besides, I'm a catch and you're from Eastern Europe and poor. Yeah, it looks as if this guy just... Yeah, he says, he sends me I miss yous every few weeks and tries to hook me with cute I love you types of text messages. Yeah, it looks as if you don't really need law and order after this guy. It looks like you just need to send a couple of pizza boxes to his house. He's just spent way too much time reading pickup artist manuals online. Poor feller. So he's going off to complain to the other pickup artists, and you're going off to Reddit to complain. Maybe it's because you don't have any female friends to talk this over with. Because if you are going to the internet to talk about your problems, this is all stuff that you should be talking to your female friends about, not to the internet. I'm really hoping that this is just because you moved to a new country and you're a little isolated. Comment section agrees. This guy's an asshat, but the girl just needs to start blocking his calls. Very true. Yep, comment section says, stop talking to him. You idiot. And of course, top comment is, well, why don't you look into a no contact order? That'd be very crazy. It'd be really nice if there were a lot simpler methods to kind of enact a no contact thing into somebody, because we don't always need to get the entire law involved. And sometimes people are just idiots when they're younger. So you don't want to put on a no contact order with him absolutely forever. Yeah, other people saying just ignore him. Don't even reply with do not contact me. That's probably the best way to do it. Yep, and call the cops when he shows up. Well, as long as you know that you can call the cops whenever he shows up, then that would probably do pretty good. And make sure that you save all the emails and messages that he's sending. Comment section says, but talking to your girlfriends doesn't give you internet attention. That's very, very true. See, these sorts of problems, a lot of these sorts of problems, it really does have to be worked out just by talking to your girlfriends and just by getting support. I think it's more support that she needs than anything. She already knows that she's doing the right thing by not wanting to get back with him. Comment section says, carry pepper spray. I agree. I don't think even I'm allowed to carry pepper spray around in this city. It's something that I would like to have, personally. Let's see what else. Oops, opening wrong things here. Okay, this is something slightly different that I want to bring up here. Comment section says, get moose mace. Oh man, I wish. Get an actual mace. Get a concealed carry. What I would recommend, like it's kind of hard to say with laws in other country, but if you look up and you start searching around, there's usually a few different ways to get around the kind of no knives or no switch knives rules in different countries. It might be worth your time to figure out what is a legal thing, what legal thing you are allowed to carry, and how you can use that legal thing to, you know, pop somebody's diaphragm if they start attacking you. Comment says, Marge wants to pepper spray the game shop staff over Sonic's arms again. Well, why? I think if anybody listening to this ever gets on one of those Skype seats for a press secretary, well, we all know that Sean Spicer is a weeb, so we should ask him how the Trump administration feels about the colors of Sonic's arms. I think that we do need to know. Okay, so this is good. This is from 10 months ago. It's kind of funny to see the difference in how people were approaching Trump 10 months ago versus how they are approaching him now. Yes, that's right. I do want the Chaos Emeralds back from Mike Pence. Comment section recommends search for tactical pen. What is that? I'll look that up right now. And try not to knock over my tea. Let's see what a tactical pen is. Is it just a pen that you can stab people with? Essential gear, 10 badass tactical pens. Okay, are you loading yet? Here we go. Archangel defense pen. So what, do you just like jam it in somebody's eye? I'm not entirely sure what these things are. Do they just really hurt? Are they just pens that you can just... Yeah, these just look like pens that you can shove into somebody and, you know, possibly end their life, or at least end one of their senses. Everyone's talking about what a Morningstar does in a roll damage. I never played D&D, so I can't quite keep up. Sorry. If you imbue with Topaz, it adds +4 lightning damage. I never played Diablo 3. Wait, isn't, what did they announce at the last BlizzCon? Didn't they say that they're gonna, refurb or whatever it is, the first Diablo? Huh. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I really just want to, stay a while and listen and hear that kick-ass song over and over and over again. So here, let's get back to these losers and their problems about their Trump-supporting friends. My closest friend, 25 years old and female, is a rabid Trump supporter. Should I, a male, walk away? This is a serious question. Okay, comment section, so only serious answers, please, if you will. My oldest and very close friend has recently been posting to Facebook something fierce about her love for Trump. She trashes anyone that posts negative responses, and if you ask her why she's voting for Trump, she just says, he is a strong leader with common sense. He is self-funded and is not politically correct or in the pocket of anyone, and basically goes into a rant because she now believes that liberals are uneducated stoners. Now, I can get along with people from any political background and enjoy having different viewpoints to learn from. But a lot of offensive comments Trump's had made towards minorities are extremely over the line. I am also a minority. My live-in girlfriend is a religious and ethnic minority, and I'm just super shocked that someone I've been friends with for 10 years can support and defend racist comments made by a presidential candidate, specifically towards my girlfriend's religious group. Gee, I wonder what religion she is. My question is, do I throw away a friendship for political reasons? I'm just so shocked and offended. He actually says that. He actually says, I'm just so shocked and offended. And having a conversation, trying to understand where she is coming from, just turns into a rant with the above talking points. We have been so close for so long. I'm just so conflicted. Edit. She claims that Trump isn't racist, and neither is she. She loves us and minorities. She is just refreshed by Trump's willingness to represent low-income white people when it's not popular, and she shouldn't have to explain any further. She honestly has never said anything racist or aggressive to us and has many Muslim friends and works with us on providing relief and social services to Iraqi refugees. It truly seems out of character and crazy for her to go this wild for Trump. TLDR, best friend is a Trump supporter conflicted as to whether or not to cut the ties due to my belonging to a minority group. Wow, I'm not sure about you guys, but this woman sounds absolutely fantastic. She does sound like an absolutely wonderful Trump supporter, and I would love to be her friend. I think that you should stop being this woman's friend, and you should give me her number, because I would love to hang out with her. Comment section says, she can't be Muslim if she's a live-in girlfriend. I agree, that's what I was thinking too. Probably not a very good Muslim. So, do I throw away a friendship for political reasons? Well, if you're going to be that much of a little whiny pants about how your friend ended up supporting the guy who's now the president of the United States, and then this is on you. Comment section says, she deserves better friends. I completely agree. This woman sounds fantastic. She seems to do more for charity than this guy, and she also seems to be backing up the one guy who seems to wants to do something for the United States of America, and she has good reason. She has perfectly good reasons for wanting to support Trump. This guy has no good reasons for being upset about Trump. He's just shocked and offended. That is his complaint. He said, I am shocked and offended that this woman agrees with Trump. Therefore, I should get rid of her. See what the comment section says. Top 1 says, you can choose not to be friends with somebody for any reason you wish. Politics has killed a lot of friendships. This wouldn't be the first, and it won't be the last. Next top comment, the wall just got 10 feet higher. I think it's actually the top comment, because that has 255 points, and the one that says you can choose not to be friends has 158 points. That's a jip. Then why is the best... Then that should be higher up than everything else. Yeah, this guy is literally shaking, and the correct answer to this is that the wall just got 10 feet higher. Ooh, somebody's talking about MRAs down here. Yeah, I Heart Giraffe says, one of my good friends is an MRA. Oh no. Myself and pretty much all my other friends are staunch feminists. I stay friends with him for 2 main reasons. First of all, even when we disagree, he's very respectful and willing to listen to the arguments. Second, he's always been there to lend an ear when I'm going through a rough time or to encourage me to get out of the house when I'm feeling down. For me, it's more important than having the same beliefs, even on something so close to my heart. These people are just me. What about me? This Trump-supporting woman says, oh, I love Trump because he does all these wonderful things for low-income white people, and she does all these wonderful things for Iraqi refugees. But this guy's whole, this minority friend of hers is just saying, but what about me? Me. Comment says, since you and your girlfriend are both minorities, this goes beyond simply political reasons. If she truly does offend you consistently with these disparaging remarks, it is a legitimate reason to walk away from the friendship. Yeah, she's not saying anything disparaging. Yeah, it's kind of odd when you're hanging out with a friend who's openly wondering why you're a Trump supporter, saying, well, Margaret, you've never, we're friends, Margaret, and you've never actually said anything racist, you've never said anything sexist, you seem to really care about a lot of different cultures, and you've never said anything transphobic, and you seem to have a lot of friends in, like, the gay community. It's like, but you're probably still evil because you vote for Trump. Gets pretty tiring. I'd say keep her as a friend because, she was right. keep your smart friends. If you can do anything for yourself, try to make smart friends. You know, maybe that'll be my one main piece of advice. The most important thing to do is to have friends who are smart. I disagree politically with a lot of my friends, but a lot of them are smart. You know, we do disagree politically, but try to find people who are doing well in their careers. You know, everybody can benefit from having friends who have many different viewpoints and come from many different backgrounds and have many different skill sets. But try not to spend too much time with dumb people. If you have smart people who achieve their goals all the time, then they're probably pretty good to have around. Just in general, it is smart to listen and hang around with smart people. So speaking of the Muslims, I have another little thing for you here. Just drinking out my tea here so I don't lose my voice. The comment section says, "Whoa, Alex Jones is a black girl in his staff, and nobody cares, because nobody on the right cares, you know, really what background somebody has. We just care about the quality of work that they have. So we end up falling far behind everyone else because we forget to really, you know, trump up the fact that we have many minorities." I just kind of sneezed there, so I think I muted it in time. Sorry. Okay, so this is gonna be good. Oh my god, jeez, they write so much, they just really want to complain. Again, this is from 11 months ago. So this was, you know, still back, definitely, this would have been March. I don't even know if he would have been the nominee at that time. I think he was in the nominee in May, is that correct? I think so. Good old Trump. Oh man, I love that guy. Yes, Margaret is sipping tea. Sip, sip. So tell me what you think about, so I want you guys to kind of think about this as we're going through it. This is, again, from 11 months ago. We're reading things from 7 months ago, from 10 months ago. But the Dan Savage thing that we read was just from a few weeks ago, and it was just pure panic. Everybody's still in just pure panic, meltdown mode. But I think everybody here is still writing from the slightly smug standpoint in the belief that Hillary Clinton would eventually win. Or some of these people are probably thinking that Bernie Sanders was still going to win. So this guy says, this 24-year-old man, his girlfriend is 24 and female, my girlfriend is a strong Donald Trump supporter. I'm a Muslim, and this makes me very uncomfortable. See, all you guys listening here who are saying, oh, I can't find a girlfriend, all these Redditors seem to be finding Trump-supporting girlfriends. So it's not that they don't exist. You can't keep saying that they do not exist. Well, let's get into his beef here. So my girlfriend and I have been dating since our freshman year of college. We've been living together since our sophomore year, and I'm planning on proposing soon enough. She's really into politics, while I'm not. I really couldn't care less. I had to think about that for a second. Couldn't care less, could care less. I forget. She's in the debate club in high school and college, and very much into campus politics. And as a major in political science, you could definitely say politics is her passion. A few months ago, she told me how she was a Donald Trump supporter. I didn't really think much of it at the time, just that she thought she was caught up in the hysteria of Make America Great Again. Her entire family are also Trump supporters, and they make sure to let everyone know through Facebook. My feed is littered with pro-Trump posts from her family. That reminds me, I really need to stop following them. Just gonna put a bookmark in that for a second. There's so much virtue signaling from the left about how often they have to unfollow people for views. They get so triggered and shocked and offended whenever they see a different view. There's, oh, I know, I just had to unfollow so many people on Facebook today. This guy is an absolutely fantastic girlfriend. She must come from a lovely family if they are all Trump supporters. His Muslim ban. You know, you're probably not a very good Muslim if you were living with your girlfriend before... If you're living with your kufar girlfriend, you know, your non-Muslim girlfriend, before you are married to her. You know, tisk tisk. Not doing a very good job. So let's continue on this here. When Trump announced his Muslim ban, it made me very uncomfortable. And pretty damn angry, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a very religious person by any stretch, but I am proud of my heritage and do believe in God. Okay, well, why don't you jump on the Christian God train? That's a pretty good train. I never really talked to my girlfriend about why she supported Trump, but after he announced his ban, I decided to talk with her about it. I asked her why she supported Trump, and the basic gist of her argument was that illegal immigration was a huge problem in our country, and he seemed like the only one willing to address it. As well as being a multi-billionaire dollar businessman meant that he knew how to make deals that would better support Americans rather than foreigners. She also liked the fact that he didn't care for being politically correct. Okay, I'm just gonna take a step back from this for a second and say that all these Trump-supporting women seem to have really fantastic and different ideas for supporting Trump. The other person said that his friend supported Trump because she felt that he was representing to the desires of poor white, I guess low-income white people in America. And this woman is saying that she likes Trump because he's willing to make deals that will better support America, which, as we know, this is like first few days in office, this is what he's already doing. He's already said that he's going to renegotiate NAFTA. And he's not going to have NAFTA because that is a North American agreement. He's going to have a separate agreement with Canada and a separate agreement with Mexico. And he's going to make sure that, that agreements will benefit the both of them. That's just pretty much how game theory and economics works. If both parties are really good at making agreements, they will both come up with an agreement that is more than mutually beneficial for the both of them. So if you have two smart people making a deal, you're going to end up with a better deal than if you had two stupid people making a deal. Comment section says, he killed the Trans-Pacific Partnership, thereby saving anime. This is very true. Renegotiate NAMBLA. Let's see what else this feller's saying about his girlfriend. I asked her what she thought of the Muslim ban. She said she didn't necessarily agree with it, but did support banning citizens from risky countries like Iraq and Syria. I told her I thought this was very wrong of him to say. I guess he means Trump and not that his girlfriend's a man, and this will only increase vitriol against Muslims in this country and is completely counterproductive. She said she doesn't believe what he was saying was anti-Muslim and that he's just trying to keep his country safe. This topic hasn't really come up again, which is normal considering we've never really talked politics before. However, her support of a man that wants to ban people from my religion from entering this country makes me feel uncomfortable. Growing up in Texas, post 9/11, I've had my fair share of racism and xenophobia spewed my way, and while I know she isn't a racist or xenophobe, it just unsettles me, I've been wanting to propose to her for a few weeks now, but this has given me cause to pause. I want to make sure to settle this before we take the next step. I understand her right to believe what she wants, and I'm completely fine with it. I just want her to understand and empathize with me, and I don't know how to do that. Again, there seems to be a very common element here where everybody's saying, well, I hate this person because they support Trump. Not because of anything that they do in their lives. I know that this person isn't racist. I know that they're not sexist. I know that they don't hate Muslims. I know that they're not hate-filled. I know that they're not stupid, but they support a stupid, racist, sexist, xenophobic man, and I just can't handle that. This is just, liberal bull over and over and over again. They're all willing to say, like, his girlfriend is dating you. You are a Muslim. You are probably brown, and I'm guessing that she's white. Just gonna make that assumption. She's a white Trump supporter, and she's dating a brown Muslim man. You live together. And you still somehow think that she is supporting a man who is racist or xenophobic. That does not confuse you at all. Good God. I think that... Oh man, I think it is possible for this guy to really, back off of his leftiness. If they can work it out. If he wants to continue to work with her. If he starts listening to Donald Trump. I really wonder how these people are doing now. It's entirely possible to get this person on board with what Donald Trump is doing, but he really has to get over the fact that, maybe Islam is not the best thing that ever happened to America. Comment section says, I think we can all agree, out of all the presidents, Trump has the best hairstyle. Best hairstyle and the most attractive first lady, bar none. Let's see what the comments are saying. I think that by continuing to support Trump, your girlfriend is admitting that supporting Americans rather than foreigners matters more to her than the anti-Muslim issue. Yes, supporting a candidate does not mean you agree with her on all their issues, but it forces you to rank which ones are most important to you. Clearly, the xenophobic nature of Trump is not as important to her as the other issues. You'd have to decide if you're okay with that, and what you think that says about her as a person. This is why it can be so difficult to move in together before you propose or get married. Because if you move in, you just kind of assume that the next step after that is you propose, and you kind of assume the next step after that is to get married. So it really allows you to be a teeny tiny bit bit lazy in how you're approaching your relationship. If you're like, okay, we're going to move in together, and then that is it. Everything is just naturally going to keep happening like this. So I do think that a lot of people approach the move in, and then the proposal, and then the marriage, and then, you can get fat after that. It's hard to say. They could be, I guess they've been dating since their freshman year of college. And I don't understand. Only Americans use phrases like sophomore years. So I guess that means their third year, possibly. Yeah, so they've been dating for a while. And they've been living together for a while. It's entirely possible that they are both different people, especially now that President Trump is President Trump. Man, these people. Yeah, I think everybody who's anybody who might be complaining in the chat that there's no such thing as right-wing women out there, this is why you need to go to a university that has a high concentration of women, because even Muslim lefty males are getting pro-Trump women to date them. Comment section says, typical left-wing, wanting everything to just happen to them as opposed to going out and doing it to themselves. Comment says, you guys have a lot to discuss before you propose. I like that he isn't politically correct. Is basically coded bigotry. Oh, did you hear that, guys? Coded bigotry. That's a fantastic one. I wonder if she's ever gone on a, why can black people use that word and we can't? Why is there no White History Month rant? Have you talked about children? Maybe ask her if she'd be comfortable with you taking your children to a mosque. You might get a telling reaction. How does her family feel? This is why... just 1 second. This is why... Sorry, just messing with stuff here. Where am I going? Sorry, just 1 second. Hold on to your hats. Sorry about that. Where were we? I completely lost track. Sorry. Let's see what comment section is saying. Yes, coded bigotry. She's using Russian code words. Somebody asks, where can I get an official Trump hat? I'm in the UK. You're going to have to get an American to do that. Only Americans, I'm pretty sure, can officially buy the Trump hats. So this is why for the very longest time, it's always been women who got to, the idea that if your mother is Jewish, you are Jewish, comes from the fact that it's the mother that really takes care of all education in the home. You'll see it even in Christian families where if the mother is one religion and the father is another religion, the mother is the one that takes over the religious behavior within the home because the home belongs to the woman, and like all religions are passed down through the mother. Surnames are passed down through the father, and religion is passed down through the mother. God. Like I know, for instance, in my family way back, the only terrible thing that my family ever did was, for a while, we were Protestants. And I'm very, very ashamed of this until at one point one of my ancestors, for his second marriage, his first wife died, but with his second marriage he married a Catholic woman. And they had a few kids, and all those kids are the ones that I am related to. And because she was Catholic, his first kids were Protestant, and his secondary kids with his second wife were all Catholic. So that's the line that I come from. So whatever religion the mother is what religion the children are. It just makes sense like that. This is back in the day when the mother was the one who was doing all the education, all the education in the home. This is why I think it's silly to say that, oh, women just should be completely uneducated and, women should just go straight from, junior high or high school and just, immediately get married and get pregnant. One wonderful thing about universities and colleges having all these women involved is that you get to find a woman who has an education to raise your children. It's definitely a very, very fantastic way to put it. So, like, and I know a lot of women who have educations, and they might get ripped on for, not using their education. They're not out there making money. Of course, women always just want to go out there to make money, but it means that the kids are raised by a mother who has a solid education, and I think that that's really important. I just looked over here and I noticed something about Allah Akbar. Oh yeah, this is so lovely. This is like a little time capsule from 11 months ago. People scared about the New Hampshire caucuses saying that America should ban Muslims altogether. It's violence against brown people. Wow, normies were such a mistake. And they're complaining that Trump is not even a successful businessman. Did you know that Trump actually has $0 and none of those buildings that says the word Trump on the front, or are actually his? He's actually like super poor, man. Go Trump, guys, don't you think? Comment section says, I disagree, universities brainwash them. Hardworking non-college grads are better. It does depend on the university you're going to. I went to a university that was very Catholic. And it was also very rural, so it did not quite have quite the same level as other universities did. It's actually one of the, compared to most of the other universities, I think, in Canada, it's actually one of the most conservative. I think religiously it was the most conservative. Because I remember talking to somebody who conducted a study of all kinds of different universities, and he said, yeah, the one that you went to was the most conservative. They were the ones that were most concerned with keeping up their original Catholic beliefs, and that's what made it less of a trash heap. As Catholic as DePaul, I'm not sure. But this is why you need to go to a university that has a church on campus and has a nursing school. These are my recommendations. More brown people. I'm glad she knows the difference between refugees in Syria and other Muslims. Oh man, this woman was completely right about those Syrians. This wasn't good for her. What a smart lady. 11 months ago she was saying that she didn't want Syrian refugees in the country. What a great lady. Comment section says, I don't get Catholics with cardinals and bishops. What is all that nonsense? Well, I'll tell you what that nonsense is with cardinals and bishops. When the Anglicans first decided to break off, after a few years, they realized that if you don't have cardinals and bishops, it is complete anarchy within the system, and that having a system of parishes with archbishops and with cardinals over top of them was actually an incredibly sensible way of organizing, a church. So they tried to get along with all the bishops and stuff, but after a few years, they realized from an administration standpoint, they are incredibly important. See what else I have here. Let's see, one second. Just scrolling through some of the trash that's on good old Reddit. Oh, this is gonna be good. See what you guys think about this. Comment section says, I was brought up Catholic and don't know any of that stuff. Well, I didn't learn that stuff from the church. I learned this because I went to a Catholic university, so when I went to choose courses, I could take like medieval architecture that focused on Catholic churches, and I could take history classes with professors who were very strong Catholics. So when we studied Tudor England, I also had a guy who was at church every Sunday morning teaching me about Anglicanism. So it was really nice to take like a course on Tudor and Stuart England from somebody who agreed with me that it was just completely shameful that they would ever possibly dream of getting rid of the Virgin Mary. So this is going to be great. 27 and female, liberal San Francisco with a conservative roommate who is 29 and female. Oh my goodness. The name that she chose for this is Breitbart Roommate. Who has so her 29-year-old female roommate has turned into an avid Trump supporter, meanwhile alienating herself from pretty much everyone in her life. Oh my goodness. I'm honestly at a complete loss as to what to do with my roommate, who is very quickly radicalizing in an extremely conservative direction. She's a pretty big Trump supporter and has recently been posting crazy shit from Breitbart on her Facebook, and some of our mutual friends have even started asking me about it. This is what I like more than anything, when mutual friends start gossiping behind your back about what a terrible, awful conservative you are. Oh, they're so fantastic. Such small-minded people. I love it. On one hand, she's always been a libertarian, so it's not super unusual for her to be against gun control. But the recent rhetoric that targets Muslims or even Black Lives Matter has totally ensnared her in xenophobic vitriol, especially after the recent Paris attacks. So I'm guessing that by Paris attacks, she's talking about, the Bataclan massacre and all the different massacres that were happening in Paris on that one horrifying night. I've heard her say some of the most offensive things over the years, but I've always attributed it to the fact that she lives off of her family's wealth and doesn't know what the real world is like. Oh man, this woman lives in San Francisco, and she's saying that she doesn't know what this woman... that she's saying that her roommate doesn't know what the real world is like. She really is book smart and well educated, but her value system seems to be coming primarily from books and theory, not so much from the real world. I.e., she doesn't really get just how privileged she is. I used to think she was really intelligent. We've been friends for almost a decade. But these days, the most I can get out of her after a debate is, "That's interesting, I'll put that into consideration." Which isn't so bad. It's just that I see that she still wants to bring up the subject matter any chance she gets, and her stance doesn't really change. These women are fantastic. There's a lot of Trump-supporting women. All you have to do is follow along on who's complaining about them on Reddit. I'm aware that this is probably linked to other deeper, darker issues. She's a very inconsistent and oftentimes emotionally unstable person. Well, I'd be emotionally unstable too if I were an open Trump supporter living in San Francisco. But right now, I just need to figure out how to get through this election cycle without one of us moving out. The level of hypocrisy is really starting to get to me. She is a queer woman living in San Francisco who lives off of handouts from her family, but looks down on things like universal health care, welfare, affirmative action, etc. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Again, over and over and over, it turns out that the Trump supporter in question always seems to be demonstrably, not racist, demonstrably not homophobic, demonstrably not, transphobic. They always just seem like lovely people. Before Trump, I would just roll my eyes and ignore her, or on a good day, try to get her to see an alternative point of view. But now, even her hardcore libertarian friends seem flabbergasted, based on the comments they leave on her Facebook wall. I don't know who this woman is, but I want to be her friend. She would be fantastic. We're the same age, we both love Trump. At this point, I'm debating whether to break off our friendship and living situation entirely. It just seems weird to break up such a good and long-term friendship because of politics. What to do? Is there a way to talk her off the ledge, or should I just run for the hills? Teal dear, my roommate is turning into a conservative, racist, Trump-supporting Breitbart reading nutjob, and it's driving me crazy. It's the exact same situation every single time. One of their friend is coming out as a Trump supporter, and they just want to completely cut them out of their lives, and they don't have any argument against their friend being a Trump supporter beyond, "I'm shocked and offended." They're just so shocked and offended they have no argument against Trump. Oh yeah, she shares Breitbart articles, therefore I'm gonna, cut my lease off. That's really fantastic. Top comment. It doesn't really sound like you'd be breaking it off over politics, but over one person not finding value in other people different from herself. Dumping someone over disagreements with zoning laws is completely different than dumping someone for being a complete racist. Yeah, they're just assuming that this woman is a complete racist. Well, she does read Breitbart. We all know Breitbart is just full of complete racists. Just looked over at the comment sections. It says, it's almost as if OP is in a cult. Comment also says, we need a lesson of the day from Margaret. What does this all mean? I have many lessons. Well, the method that I use to figure out any lessons or any set of problems is that I try to get as many real world examples as possible and I line them all up. You always have to start with real world examples, put them all together, even if it's on a big whiteboard in front of you, and just start saying, okay, what is common about all of these situations? And what is common about all of these situations is that these people are really upset that a Trump supporter exists. They're upset and offended because they are a Trump supporter, not for any particular thing that Trump is actually doing. They have a lot of lies about Trump, but no, real action. And they're very, very upset about the fact that this Trump supporting friend of theirs does not seem to want to submit to the shame from their lefty friends who are telling them that they shouldn't support Trump because he's just evil, and they're willing to just completely change their lives and change their Trump supporting friends' lives over the fact that this person wants to vote for a different guy. Yes, final thoughts from Jerry. Good old Jerry. Comment says, then why the fuck are you engaging her in political discussions? Very good suggestion there. Yeah, just don't talk politics. This is very true. Well, one of the reasons why I don't talk politics anymore, and this is just a true fact, like, I say, well, I get paid for talking about politics, so I don't feel like doing it for free if I'm just going to argue. It's much better to have just a lot of hobbies to share with your friends. Comment section nailed it on the head. It says, the media created these people, and now they're trying to pretend they had nothing to do with it. Very true. Comment also says, the lefties love their outrage kick. And what's common is that they're an effing white male. Was it a man or a woman who shouted no when Trump was inaugurated? That was just so beautiful. Oh, that made me so happy on the inside. Comment section says, they get enraged when corrected on misinformation. Oh, thank you, comment section. It says, first live stream. I like how she covers every side of this. Well, I try to. But when I do cover every side, it usually turns out that Trump is still right, and Trump is still president, no matter how many different ways you look at it. Trump is still president. Take a look deep into that diamond. You can see Donald Trump's face staring right back at you. Comment says, I think calling her a nut job isn't starting off on a good foot. Very true. She's entitled to her opinions and should be allowed to share them in her own home if she can do so in a reasonable manner. But, there's always a but, I find that Trump appeals to people with very emotional worldviews, not so much interested in policy or governance as they are in sharing things that up until now have been very unfashionable to say aloud. Oh no, honey. Conservatism had been very fashionable to say out loud until, the 60s or 70s, because that's how the entire world worked, While the mainstream coverage of homosexuality has allowed many gays to come out of the closet, mainstream coverage... Nobody's talking about coverage of homosexuality. Good grief. Comment also says, the problem is that Breitbart and Trump folks do not engage in respectful discourse. Sure we do. We engage in fantastic discourse. I don't know what the person's saying. Let's see what the comment section says. They get really offended when you explain a misconception they have about Trump, or debunk a lie about him as well, I've noticed. Yep, they'd rather just say, well, Trump hates gay people. What do you think about that? Right. They've already built this up in their head. They've already seen it on The Daily Show or whatever stupid things that they're watching out there. They already have in their head you coming around saying, oh my goodness. I was just completely wrong the whole time. It's just absolutely horrible. I'm so sorry for being the worst person ever. Oh, this is interesting. Comment section here from a conservative. It says, I've got this friend. She's a diehard liberal, save the world leftist, and I am a gun-loving conservative. Oh, but they still hate Trump. Well, he's president now. LOL. Her and I are still super close friends, best friends even. Our agreement, once in a while, we have a hangout specifically for political discussion. For example, I recently asked her to sell Bernie Sanders to me. We discussed his ideas, plans, etc. We will also sometimes say, hey, a political thing X that happened. Let's talk about that, such as Paris. We do not randomly jump into political discussions. That's a pretty good idea. Comment section says 0 points. You don't sound very open-minded either. Have you ever considered that she might, be right? And then one comment underneath it says, you're right, we should totally consider all the wonderful benefits of fascism. And someone else says, how is Trump fascist? And then no answer. Oh, people are the worst. Let's see if I can't find anything else to talk about here. So what do you guys think? I'm gonna throw it open to the comment section here. Comment says, a lot of these situations are plain opposite incompatibility. You kind of have to seek your own and own level, I reckon, eh? Also, if it's your roommate, like, why you don't have, there's other things to do. Like, you just kind of live in the same spot as them. I left my tea bag in my tea for way too long, and now it's pretty gross. Bleh. Somebody's calling Trump a cuckservative. No, I don't care. He's gonna build the wall and Mexico's gonna pay for it. That's what matters to me. Comment also says, are they effing married or something? This is true. They're just roommates. They're not married. All they have to do is just make sure that, the bathroom is clean. That's really about it. Somebody asks, what happened to the deplorable live stream? Did your computer overheat? No, I ended up putting the live stream, it's just not public anymore because Right Side Broadcasting asked me to stop broadcasting their live feed of the deplorable, which is perfectly within their right. But, just to avoid angering them, since it was their live stream and they were right about that, I decided to just not make it public anymore. So then I would no longer be taking, revenue away from them. I think the funniest thing with the Right Side Broadcasting thing is, again, they were perfectly within their their rights to go out and be like, hey, stop streaming our content. But it was easy to tell that somebody had basically gotten mad at them. And then I found out today that Guerrilla Mindset is going to be working for Right Side Broadcasting, and I spend a lot of time. As we all know, I am a shill of George Soros. I receive millions and millions of dollars from George Soros to meme on Gorilla Munchman. And he now works for Right Side Broadcasting. And it was Right Side Broadcasting's broadcast that I was stealing. I had previously enjoyed the many wonderful live broadcasts they did of Trump events in America. This tea is just terrible right now, but I'm cheap. I'm just gonna keep drinking it. Leave Mike alone. I'll try to. He always seems to be like the secondary person in any situation. Poor Mike. Poor alimony man. 1/1,000,000th. Yes, I guess I am a very nasty person. Comment section says, I want to shill for Soros, only to get paid, but I'll purposely do a bad job. Guerrilla Mindset. Oh my goodness. Second, he did such a wonderful job. He really is a very wonderful marketer. Except when you crack it open, it looks like it's rotten inside. If you ever want to have fun, take a look at the Amazon reviews for a baboon mind frame. Comment section says memory mound set. It's fantastic. I'm gonna steal that right now. Gonna control C that. Okay, comments. Yeah, Cernovich is so overcompensating. I don't know why he has to there's nothing wrong with a slow burn. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going slow burn, saying, okay, I feel like being involved in political commentary for the next 30 years, so I'm just gonna go for the slow burn instead of slowly angering everyone around me. One nice thing about a lot of the right-wing circles is that we get angry and we yell at each other, but in the end we do kind of all want the same thing. So a lot of it is just public pompousness. Maybe that's kind of the Canadian in me, but I'm just used to the Canadian political events where we all are kind of ripping on each other, but at the end, The most important thing is for all of us to get along and just, make sure that our guy gets in. Let's see, I don't know, Marg. Comment section says, I don't know, Mags. I've seen the Soros shills. You don't look or act like them. I think you're a little more high energy than that. Thank you, I appreciate it. High energy housecoat lady. We got Trump, so Cernovich got nothing to fight for next. Well, it's quite odd. I talk about this in almost every stream, but it's really important to remember that we are in a great resorting where all the crazy people are getting shuffled off to crazy land, and people who are, hashtag never Trump are, getting along fine with the people who are always Trump. So there are a lot of people getting along absolutely fine together. Everybody's sort of finding themselves again, saying, okay, Trump is in charge. Let's use this time to, make sure that our conservative movement is, well represented. And then there's everybody else just firing off in all directions, realizing that now that there's no more MAGA to MAGA, because, Trump can do his own MAGAing from now on. Now that there's no more, voter or grassroots efforts out there, there's not much else to do. We're still in celebration mode. Myself, I'm going to see if I can't turn any of that celebratory fun into making Canada great again. Comment section says, yeah, I didn't expect Never Trump to end. Well, a lot of people who were, Never Trump, like the Ben Shapiro's all of the world, that was just their position until he was president. They're like, okay, I was never Trump, but now he's the president. Like, they're still going to support him. Like, maybe not support him with the votes, but they're still going to, hope for him, and they're not going to take cheap shots at him. God, I hope not. Comment section says, Gorilla Munch is only using the Trump movement to get exposure and heighten his career. Yep, he's trying to be an apex predator. An apex male. He ended up kind of rolling in with the pickup artist community that is now trying to glom onto the alt-right. I think anybody that started calling themselves alt-right in the last 6 months just needs to go away. I'm not sure. I can't quite think of I need to think of a comparison between die in a fire and just go away quietly. Quietly die in a fire? Maybe? Yeah, I agree. Shapiro has been pretty fair so far. He's had some good tweets. Well, I guess Trump has been a lot of action lately. And somebody's asking for a Canadian-themed ASMR where I just say again. Somebody's asking how my health is going. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. That's going to be fun. It's going to be raining tomorrow. Doctor's appointment tomorrow. I have a list of like 5 different things to go over because I'm an 80-year-old man. Drown in a fire. Yeah, that's a good one. Somebody asks, who came from the pickup artist community? Well, like Matt Forney, I think was originally a pickup artist. I need to get some canned laughter for my stream, because I really think that some canned laughter ought to come after Matt Forney, the pickup artist. Now he kind of considers himself alt-right. I'm not sure. Just a lot of people with weird shaped heads were in the pickup artist community. Cucks like Rick Wilson are still mad. Oh, poor Rick Wilson. Yeah, everybody else who didn't like Trump is just like, okay, Trump is the president now. I don't want him, but let's see how he does. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, there are a lot of reasonable people who did not like Trump. But Rick Wilson is just one of those angry, egg-headed people. Somebody's asking how I say the word measure. I say it like measure. Comment says, Shapiro's wrong too often for how condescending he is. Shapiro has to be condescending to people because he can't talk down to them. Well, the Young Turks just still complaining about Trump. I didn't realize I had to watch the Young Turks first time in one of my poli-sci classes. I had never heard of them before in my life. They were trash then and they're trash now. I saw a fantastic... Tariq Nasheed is a pickup artist too, just on the other side. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of... the pickup artist community managed to glom on to the alt-right. It's quite hilarious. Somebody's asking me to say the word admin. Admin? Administration. Okay, so I'm not getting so much movement from the comment section. I don't know if it's just loading slow, but I think that guy, is that guy T a pickup artist? No, he's just black. How dare you say that? Sounds very racist. Also, what do we learn this evening? We've learned that in the from 1 year to about 7 months ago, there were a lot of people posting on Reddit complaining that they lived or knew or dated somebody who was a conservative Trump supporter. We've learned that there are a lot more. We've learned that there are a lot more female Trump supporters out there than we ever knew possible, and a lot of them seem to have been dating lefties. So I'm really hoping that I'm really hoping that a lot of these women who are dating lefties have broken up with them. So there's probably now a whole lot of Donald Trump supporting women just out there floating. Just floating around, just waiting for everybody else to come around and try to pick them up. So I need to work on my own pickup artist system. How to pick up conservative women. My God, I would need to spend 10 years studying that issue. I don't know how to pick up conservative women. I think we can figure it out. I think we should just keep doing these on a Monday night. This is definitely going to be our Monday night thing. We'll see what happens during the week. So I thought it was fun to go through and see how people were dealing with their Trump-supporting girlfriends and Trump-supporting boyfriends and Trump-supporting roommates and see how they dealt with it. And we got to see them all melt down, which is pretty fantastic. Somebody asks in the comment section, Margaret, did you ever watch To Catch a Predator? To Catch a Predator might be one of my favorite shows. I've looked many times for a DVD of To Catch a Predator because it makes me laugh. And the screen names of the guys who are caught on To Catch a Predator are quite possibly some of the the most ingenious nicknames that I've ever heard. So I will end the stream by saying I will talk to you guys next week. We'll be here next week. Next Monday at a similar time. We'll be back here talking again about relationships. We'll keep this format until I build my new computer. We'll keep this format until I see what continues to work with you guys. But I will end with my very favorite name from To Catch a Predator. This one big fat guy got caught. This one big fat guy looking to meet like a 13-year-old boy. And they showed his screen name. Are you guys ready for this? This man is screen name. I think that he should have just been let out of jail just on the hilarity and strength of his screen name. He should be writing symphonies with this kind of glorious artful mind. This man's screen name, and Chris Hansen said it out loud, was Twink Toilet. I can't get any better than that. It's so gorgeous. It's just the most beautiful screen name I've seen. So I will leave you with that. I will leave you with screen name Twink Toilet, and we'll be back here next Monday. I will have a new video up on the channel on Wednesday. It's going to talk about what Rush Limbaugh knows about the Chans, because Rush Limbaugh calls the Chans 4-channel, which I think is hilarious, but he still seems to understand the difference between plebit and the Chans. So I've been looking up in the last week different instances of Rush Limbaugh understanding the Chans, and we're going to talk about how Rush Limbaugh views the internet and kind of make some guesses at who might be feeding him information about the internet. So that'll be a Wednesday video, and then Thursday we'll be back for another live stream. I haven't decided what on yet. I'm sure I'll find something good. Anyway, guys, have a good night.